All right, guys, we are on to our main event. We're going higher, further, faster, baby. We're going to be talking about Captain Marvel 1.
Our March to Doomsday.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be exciting. This is Marvel's first female-led superhero movie.
Yeah.
Ike, why don't you take it away with the history behind this film, and then we'll get on to it.
All right, guys. So, movie we're going to be doing is Captain Marvel. Release date is March 8th, 2019. Main cast, Brie Larson, Samuel Jackson, Gemma Chan, Ben Mendelsohn, so good. Annette Bening, is it Lashana Lynch?
Yep.
And Jude Law, another phenomenal actor.
Oh.
Anyway, history behind the film, guys. Okay, the development of Captain Marvel marked another major milestone for Marvel Studios as it became the MCU's first female-led film after more than a decade of interconnected storytelling. Although fans had long called for a solo movie featuring Carol Danvers, Marvel waited until Phase 3, believing the MCU first needed a strong foundation before introducing one of its most powerful heroes. The project gained momentum after the success of the film, like Wonder Woman, demonstrated the commercial viability of female-led superhero blockbusters. Though Marvel had already announced Captain Marvel in 2014, by the time filming began in early 2018, the MCU had become the biggest franchise in Hollywood and was preparing to conclude the Infinity Saga with Avengers Endgame. Directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck were chosen because Marvel admired their characters-focused, independent films and believed they could ground Carol Danvers' emotional journey within a cosmic adventure rather than telling a traditional superhero origin story. The filmmakers chose to structure the film as a mystery with Carol gradually uncovering her forgotten past while questioning everything she believed about the Kree-Skrull War. At the time, Brie Larson was one of Hollywood's most respected performers. Having won the Academy Award for Room in 2016, she underwent extensive physical training for the role, learning martial arts, weightlifting, and military-style conditioning, and even visited Nellis Air Force Base to meet fighter pilots and better understand Carol's background as an Air Force officer. Samuel Jackson, returning one of his largest MCU roles as a younger Nick Fury, made possible through groundbreaking digital de-aging technology that kept Jackson appearing decades younger throughout nearly the entire film. Ben Mendelsohn joined as Talos. Jude Law portrayed, am I saying his name right, Jan Rog?
Yep.
Okay. And Annette Bening played the reimagined Marvel. Filming took place primarily in California and Louisiana, with many Earth scenes embraced a nostalgic 1990s aesthetic, complete with blockbuster video stores, dial-up internet, pagers, and contemporary music that helped distinguish the film from the rest of the MCU. One of Marvel's biggest creative decisions was rewriting Carol Danvers' comic book origin. In the comics, Carol gains her powers after an explosion involving the male Kree hero Marvel, while their DNA becomes intertwined. Marvel Studios felt that origin relied too heavy on another hero and wanted Carol's story to focus on her own choices and determination rather than an accident centered on someone else. As a result, Marvel was reimagined as Dr. Wendy Lawson, a Kree scientist secretly working on Earth, played by Annette Bening. Marvel also gender-swapping the character to streamline the story, reduce the number of new characters, and allow Carol's power to originate from the destruction of the light speed engine powered by the Tesseract, directly tying her origin into the Infinity Saga. This approach also connected Carol to the Space Stone and Nick Fury while simplifying decades of complex continuity into a narrative that better fit the established MCU. Another significant change involved the Skrulls. Traditionally portrayed in Marvel as one of the universe's primary villains, the Skrulls were instead presented as refugees fleeing Kree opposition. Their twist gave the film greater moral complexity and challenged both Carol and the audiences to question assumptions about heroes and villains. Oof, some YouTubers out there can't grasp that concept, though. Behind the scenes, Marvel invested heavily in practical stunt work, with Larson performing many of her own action sequences whenever possible. The production also made extensive use of practical light or fight training references in military consultations to accurately portray Air Force culture. One of the film's most beloved behind-the-scenes stories involved Goose the cat, whose scenes were performed primarily by 4 different cats, with visual effects added only when Goose revealed its true alien Flerken nature. Samuel L. Jackson later joked that acting opposite cats was one of the greatest challenges of the production. The de-aging technology used on Jackson and Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson represented another major technological achievement for Marvel, building upon techniques previously developed for films like Ant-Man and Captain America: Civil War. When Captain Marvel premiered in 2019, it became another enormous success for Marvel Studios. Critics praised Brie Larson's performance, the chemistry between Larson and Samuel Jackson, the 1990s setting, the film's willingness to subvert expectations surrounding the Kree-Skrull conflict, earning approximately 79% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and around 45% from verified audiences on the current popcorn meter. Though audiences' reception became subject of significant online controversy at release, financially, however, the film was a massive triumph, grossing approximately $1.13 billion worldwide. I forgot it made that much. Against a production budget of $152 to $175 million, making it the first female-led superhero film to surpass the $1 billion mark. More importantly, Captain Marvel expanded the comic mythology of the MCU, redefined the Skrulls' role within the franchise, explained the origins of Nick Fury's Avengers Initiative, and introduced Carol Danvers as one of the universe's most powerful heroes just in time for a pivotal appearance in Avengers Endgame.
Wow. All right. So, with all that said, guys, I'm going to read the official synopsis then. Carol Danvers becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between 2 alien races. All right. So, let's break down this guy. And
let's jump into this. This was a fun movie to watch. I only got to watch it the one time, but I got my reasons, and we'll talk about it. So,
okay. All right. Well, I'll read Act 1, and we'll go from there then. All right. So, Veers, known as Carol Danvers, but Veers at the time, trains as an elite Kree Star Force soldier under Jan Rog while having fractured memories of a past. She and her team are sent on the mission to rescue a spy on planet Torfa. Goes wrong. She is captured by the Skrull leader Talos, who probes her mind for lost memories. Veers escapes her captors and crash lands in a Los Angeles blockbuster video store in 1995, drawing the attention of rookie S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Nick Fury. All right, so what worked for you?
Okay, so I feel like we're going to be off together on this one, unfortunately.
Oh, boy.
But I will say what works for sure, okay? First of all, I'm just going to go right off the bat and talk about Nick Fury. That de-aging stuff is fantastic in this movie.
Oh, my.
It might be the best. I mean, I love Hank Pym and the others, but this is like dependent on a lot of the movie.
Yes.
And other than him still kind of walking like he's an older man still, but that's the thing about that they can't really fix. It's almost seamless, you know. I think it helps that Sam Jackson looks good. But de-aging him probably wasn't as hard as you think. With some of the other actors look a lot older. But no, I think the de-aging is fantastic, and it fits, and I never feel like it takes me out. Which you think sometimes it could, then sometimes it kind of takes me out in a positive way, where I'm like, wow, it is really good, because you just know it is, right? I like that the movie starts out with her already having her power, though.
Yep.
This approach of she's already powerful, and now we're going to find out how she got there and all the secrets that come with it
Mm-hmm.
is smarter because it's not something that they do often in these kinds of movies. So it's a good way to start, and it's a good way to really get your attention fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, because once it starts turning, it kind of turns into a little bit of a mystery movie. I wish it kept that aesthetic more, but that's going to be more when we get into Act 2 and on. So, um, I think the action is very. I think it's really good. I like the beginning opening sequences with like the war stuff, showing the different the aliens, the Kroll, the Kroll, the scrolls and the Kree. I like that stuff. Um, I do like the buildup. I think this buildup is good. It makes me wonder what's going on in this universe and why this took this long to get to. But then once you do kind of realize and sets in that it's taking place at a certain time, it's actually real fun because you feel like you can, okay, I can step out of the MCU a little, even if you're not really stepping out of the MCU. You don't feel like you're congested with present day when you're on the heels of a movie that's massive that's coming in between one that was just massive, you know what I mean? And you share the screen with another movie that, yeah, let's be honest, Ant-Man was, out, it was a mid movie, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
mid to low. So this movie had a lot going. I didn't realize how much it made. I forgot that it was that much of a success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest with you, that it's that much of a success. So
Mm.
that's what worked for me so far when I talk about this movie. I don't really have anything too specific to kneel in on. I think right off the bat, though, the chemistry between Samuel Jackson and Brie Larson is very good.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. How
Fantastic.
about Sam? What about for you? What worked for you?
I too love the mystery opening that they gave with
Mm,
making it look like you're seeing her get her powers, but you're not really sure what the heck's going on. And I love how that throughout the movie gets explained. And you start seeing it and come to realize it as she's coming to realize it too. I think that's really smart
mm,
because now we're going on the journey with her to find out who she really is and to see that payoff at the end. I love that. Um, I think I I really do. I like this movie. I like it more than I thought I originally did. And I think that had to do with a lot of the behind the scenes drama during the promotional tour of this movie, where
mm,
Brie Larson made some unwise word choicings when she was talking about the press. And I think what happened is it got a little misconstrued. And then, of course, the negative parts of the internet that's looking for something negative, they finally had a bone to chew on. And I think that that's where you
mm.
got a strong reaction online, at least, that was, in my opinion, a little uncalled for. And I actually I give credit to Brie Larson as an actress. Since that time, she's learned how to n- still be herself, but not put this negative spin on herself. And that's something that some actors unfortunately never learn.
Mm.
Some of them even double down on it and make them a little more irritating in that regards. Brie has taken the opposite approach, and I've personally seen that and online, and I think that that's played out in her favor, more so for
Yeah,
favorability. But regardless, this movie still made over $1 billion.
yeah,
So no matter what anyone online was saying about her negatively at the time, it did not affect those box office numbers. And comes off of, think about it in this way. Yes, Avengers Infinity War made $1 billion. We understood that was going to make $1 billion. It was that monumental. Ant-Man and the Wasp did not, and that came directly after that. So this movie wasn't a guaranteed $1 billion. We knew it was going to be a good number because Ant-Man and the Wasp was a good number, and this is still in the golden era of Marvel where they were higher numbers all the time. But for this one to make $1 billion, that was pretty monumental for Marvel.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I am actually very happy that it did work out that way for them because it did show that we can tell interesting stories with female characters and they can make as much as the men because it knocks that stereotype out that people would have that says that and unfortunately some people especially of an certain generation would have still thought that women couldn't make as much as men or be that profitable, that valuable. And I think that this movie was like that one, and Wonder Woman that came right before it that showed, no, you just tell a good story with a good female heroine and you will, there is no divide like that. And so I think that was good for this movie in particular, and for future MCU projects that would get with more female led centric movies, I would say.
Can I speak on a controversy stuff real
Sure.
quick?
Yep.
I remember when this was out, and I remember that stuff. It did affect me a little, not as much as like the Supergirl stuff that come out recently, but it's similar to that. I think Brie is someone that has a lot of opinions, and I think she's someone that likes to, it is not shy of being honest about those. Mark Ruffalo the same way, you know. And I think it's okay. I mean, whether we agree or not, I can't even remember specifically what she was talking about. I do know it has something to do with the women in film and, the equal rights of all that stuff, which obviously, I mean, there's nothing clearly, guys, you should be,
The
what are we talking about here, right?
The controversy from, and I remembered this when I was doing my research on this movie, was she made a comment on the press tour of she had so many, in her words, white young men that were asking her questions more than a diversity in the
and that's my issue with
that.
with these Hollywood folks. Okay,
Mm.
is I think they have a lot to say that actually is coming from a real good, compassionate place. The problem is getting across what it is they're trying to say ends up not sounding like a particularly thing that they're really trying to root for, but more of a weird complaint that doesn't make a lot of sense. So in retrospective, I think her saying it like that felt more like an insult than a pointing out a problem. And when you do that, you make people go, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
So
she
what?
wasn't
I
saying.
could still be a white guy with a voice and have questions.
Yeah,
I understand that you're concerned about the lack of diversity, but that's all you had to say. You didn't have to make it sound like it's bad that I did.
yeah,
And I think that that's what
yeah.
the problem we run into with this stuff is like, and I, even on the other end of it, whether I agree with her or not, which we're not going to get, it's not that kind of podcast, whether we agree with each other or not, I wouldn't even approach an argument with someone like of just automatically saying, well, look at you, you can't have an opinion. You're the problem. And that's what it felt like. And it's like, no, that's not the problem. Diversity is the problem that we don't have in the thing.
And
Unfortunately, I kind of disagree with her on that. If I do dare say something political on here, I will say this. I do think that there is a pay inequality that needs to be fixed. I agree with that because it's been proven that women have been underpaid in film. I agree. I 100% agree. Change that. That's dumb. I don't know why people are still doing that. It's stupid. If you're doing a good job and you lead a movie, you should get paid just like anybody else. I think anything you do, if you're good at it, you get paid for it. That's how I feel about it. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what race or sex you are. If you do a good job at your job, you should get paid for it, equal to someone doing just as good a job. So with that said, when they say it in the guise of women just don't get a chance, it kind of bugs me because it's kind of equal to like the whole Black Panther thing where, oh, look, finally a black man gets to lead a superhero movie. No one watched Blade, I guess. You know what I mean? And like with her, it's like, yeah, don't act like women don't get these roles because they do. There are a lot of leading women from a long time ago. 1978 guys, Aliens, 1991 and 1991 and 1986 or 84. Both Terminator movies, Terminator and Terminator 2. It's heavy female led, fantastic. Okay, yeah, I mean 2 out of thousands. There's a bunch I'm not going to name because I'll be here all day.
But the point
With
is,
that said, they're not paid equally, and that needs to change. But I never heard that. All I heard was no one gives women a chance, and white people or white young men is the more I'm seeing talking about it and not enough diversity. And it just feels like an attack, and it just doesn't come off well. And I think
yeah.
she has done a good job at walking back, realizing, okay, maybe this isn't how we approach this conversation.
Mhm.
And I think Hollywood does this a lot. A lot of celebrities do this, where they say some things, and it's like, is that what you meant to say, or are you just trying to get a
Mhm.
rouse? Because she did. She got a response, and the response was, what's the real problem? Young white men or the
Yeah.
lack of diversity? Because
Yeah.
it's different, right? There's a difference there. So
I do agree that I think that she probably in her perspective, this is the biggest project she's ever undertaken up until this point.
mhm.
And so there is a lot more eyes, and I think she now has entered a new realm of fandom where unfortunately girls were not into comic books like guys were.
That's also true.
And I think girls have gotten more into comic books, especially as there's been more of a um dare I say, diversity in the comics itself. I think that you've gotten a lot more of a bigger fan base, and you do get females that listen to comics, read comics, watch comics, everything involving comics. And now you've entered into this new medium of storytelling in movies where you can get young, old, it does not matter. Even if you didn't know the comics, you're
Yeah.
just there to enjoy a really good
Yeah.
sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So I think that what happened was kind of like a little stark reality of she sees that there is not as much diversity in that sector of Hollywood, and she was trying to raise awareness, but in doing so, she said it in the trigger words or in the wrong way that she didn't know that you would start a controversy, and it did.
Mm.
I don't think she did this intentionally to cause drama to the movie or herself. I think it was, hey, I see a little bit of an inequality here. Why are all these white men coming and asking me questions? Why am I not seeing any women? Why am I not seeing any brown people? And at the time, I'm sure now a lot of that has changed to a degree, but
I don't know. We're talking at 2000 what?
2018.
Yeah, no, I think she was off the mark. I think I think she should have been more clear about what she was trying to say. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Just put yourself in the position of the guy that sat down and you're just a young white guy doing your job.
Mhm.
It's like, wait a minute, I didn't push nobody out of the way for this.
Mhm.
Somebody gave me this job. I'm good at what I do. When you look back at the line, it's don't talk to America about why these guys aren't hiring other people.
Mhm.
Don't make all white men feel like they can't do this if someone else doesn't look different is doing it. That's a problem. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, I know I'm showing my politics a tad, but
Well, I do
to me,
agree.
it's true. It's like I, I think now we do see that diversity more so, but is it at the expense of? Is it really diversity right now, or is it at the expense of making a lot of people feel bad enough to just make it happen? Because
Well, one thing we've talked about on this podcast before, I think in our last episode, I know I mentioned it a couple times, is that Hollywood seems to struggle with the whole diversity thing in and of itself,
I agree.
where if it's not diversity of skin color, it's diversity of thought.
Mhm.
And now you may get a more fair balance when it comes to the outer appearance and physical characteristics, but the diversity of thought is not prevalent anymore.
No, it's not.
And actually, if you think differently than someone else, you're more scrutinized or blacklisted or get less projects or in some of a sense get paid less than other people would,
Yeah.
just because you may click a couple boxes, but you don't click the one that they all want you to be on.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a cultural thing in Hollywood in general that they need to fix.
Unfortunately. I mean, we see it with Chris Pratt. We see it with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Chris is great. Everything's fine until all of a sudden they realize he's a Christian that eats his own meat. And it's like, now it's, oh, well, let's fire him. It's like, wait a minute. He's just being who he is. And you wouldn't know if he didn't tell you.
But for this movie, one of the things I'm going to say is I'm going to give her a pass on this because this is the culture that she's in.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that this is one of the reasons why a lot of people would say Hollywood gets a little out of touch with the rest of the world is because this is the bubble that they live in. So if they wanted to all reflect on the bubble that they live in, they would make comments like this and not think twice. And now she, I believe, and to her credit, has realized, okay, there is a different way to approach this.
Yeah,
and
she can still feel the
and
same
she
way,
hasn't
but it's a better
since
way to
then.
say
She's
it.
never done any controversy since
Right.
then, which is, I can't say that about people like Mark Ruffalo or Meryl Streep or some of the other biggest names out there that are great actors in of themselves, but that's just them. And she took a different direction, which I applaud her for.
Actually, I have heard some of the stuff she has said, and it's more articulate, and you actually get what she means.
Yeah.
Instead of this random words of just.
Funny enough,
You know, it's like, oh, see, now I'm with you. I get what you're saying. The other thing just sounded like an insult. It didn't sound like something
exactly.
to
To my surprise, she was like the fan favorite of this whole Super Mario's universe movie, this last one of the tour.
That's right.
And Chris Pratt and all of them. She got along with everybody. And that was great to see. It'd be like, hey, that's not a stigma that's going to follow you around if you know?
Yeah.
So I just had to say that out there. I do love you, Brie Larson. I think that
I think you're a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved her in Room, and I saw that before they announced her as this, and I thought, holy smokes, what a casting.
Good. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, what else worked for me is I loved actually this whole growth of her discovering who she is and also teaching her some humility in doing that. Because she comes across as arrogant, but I think that's how she was written. That's not the actress, that's the character. And I think people sometimes can misconstrue that for good and bad reasons of actors and their characters. They could say, oh, she seemed very arrogant here. That's how Carol Danvers was.
Yeah.
And then her finding out more about herself, she gets brought down to another level. Then she realizes the inner power she actually has, and she gets brought back up. And that's why her sequel, when we get there, we'll get there, guys, was a huge letdown on her character development. But we'll touch upon that when we get there. Anyways, for this, I like the exposition of the Kree Skrull War.
Yep, me too.
I was very excited that they were doing this because we've already seen the Kree a couple of times now in the MCU, and obviously she's part of the Kree. I like how they did that here, where she's kind of like, she's been brought in, brainwashed in, and she's there. But now we're seeing a different side of the Kree as a civilization of conquerors, and they're claiming they're in a war that they may or may not have been. This is one of the things I want to say about this whole war thing in general for comics comparison, especially. The Kree Skrull War, whenever it's mentioned in the comics, is so interesting to me because from our perspective, both the Kree and the Skrulls are bad people. They are bad guys. Every member that they have in each one of them, they may have one or two that's like the rogue people, like the Marvel type characters. It's like, no, I actually want to look up the betterment for everybody. I just so happen to be Kree or just so happen to be Skrull. But the majority of them, they hate human guts. They hate them. And so this is the great example in this movie of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but somewhat of my friend type thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
So at first, when I saw this movie a long time ago, I was a little jarred with thinking that the Skrulls are good guys or they're being portrayed as good guys. But I think that was supposed to be intentional for us to trust them. And then later on, they could have done a secret invasion type proper, not what we got, but an actual secret invasion storyline that would have furthered Carol's personal arc in, you guys really are bad guys and deceitful, just like your shape-shifting abilities are this whole time.
Well, and it's always possible that there's a group of them that aren't.
Yeah.
You know, you can have refugees
you
from other
have
places
like I said, you have some rogue people that are good, but at the same time,
the majority of them may not feel the same way.
Exactly.
Just so happens to be the Kree is their biggest problem right now.
Yes.
You know, and it could be that it makes sense. You know,
it was a great way of introducing the Skrulls. So
Absolutely,
I like this. I like Talos.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he's really cool, and I do like young Nick Fury.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I think I agree with you on the de-aging thing. The Michael Douglas thing, and like we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp, what they do with Michelle Pfeiffer, really good de-aging, but for a whole movie doing it like this, holy smoke, Samuel L. Jackson looks good.
Yeah, he does.
He looked
really
good
does.
bald, and he looks good with hair.
Yeah, that's it.
Love
that's
it.
True. Yep.
Love it. Anyway, so yeah, I really liked this first act. I thought it was a great first act. And I wouldn't have said that years ago when I first watched it because I was so kind of married to a degree to the comic version of them. And I kept thinking, why'd you change it this way? But now in retrospect, watching it, be like, this is the best way to introduce her.
Yeah.
I actually admire it a lot more. So,
Do you have a standout moment?
yes, actually, the memory playback machine.
Yep, me too. I think that's cool. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and that is really cool technology
So
the
smart,
scroll
yeah.
have. I don't know why we haven't seen that since then.
Good
And
question.
I love, right? I love that you're hearing their commentary, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, let's play that back," and then they do, but it's an opposite way, and it's like it's so creatively done.
Yeah.
That is really that whole thing of that memory playback machine is really cool.
This was what's on what we're seeing on the background right now with the fight in the train was my other standout moment. I liked.
Find the old lady scroll.
Yeah, because when she punches her, we're just like, what? It's like it's just
Mhm.
it is such a fun, unique way of just having a good time.
And you
with
know,
this.
what's funny about that scene is that's one of the only things I wrote down on what didn't work, and I'll explain what it is. When that old lady does those things and the people start holding Carol back, I'm thinking, why are you holding her back? Did you see what this old lady just did?
Wild,
Like,
yeah.
there's no amount of Pilates that a 90-year-old lady like that could do that. I'm
That's right.
sorry. So
right.
I would let Carol do what she's going to do because there's something wrong with that old lady. That's demonic almost looking.
Mhm,
If this wasn't a Marvel movie, I would have thought, holy smokes, exorcism is coming. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, that's crazy stuff that lady did. Anyways.
I think something that didn't work for me so far is the Star Force thing. They feel a little underdeveloped. Maybe in this movie, I don't think they really ever give a lot of weight to them. So later, I don't really get that feeling of like, even though that the truth and all that comes out, there's still people that she was like, close to. And I didn't get that feeling later. There wasn't a loss on the other end of it. You know what I mean? And
I
think
agree with
I
that.
think I think it's noticeable. I don't think it really destroys the movie, but definitely could have used a little more nuance there.
There's no
No?
there's no camaraderie with all of them.
Yeah, when you think there should be, even though there's lies behind everything, these are still people that you're like part of and doing. You know what I mean?
These are
Like,
your workmates, like
yeah, yeah. At some point, there's gonna be like, oh no.
I did appreciate though Gemma Chang when she said Minerva there, she said, "I never liked you." And be like, well, that makes sense
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
actually can see that a little bit, the little female empowerment thing being like,
Yeah.
no.
No, I agree with that too. Yeah.
But anyways, no, other than that, what would you score Act 1?
I'm gonna give Act 1 a 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, okay, okay. Ooh, going big.
I really did
Yeah.
like this. You're going to find that most of my ratings for this movie are a lot more favorable, and I think that's due to the retrospective for me personally.
Okay.
Because
Isn't that interesting? Because I'm
in
the
the
one that talked
beginning,
into liking it back in the day.
yes, that's what I was about to say. Is that in the beginning when I saw this, I'm like, I'm really not so sure if I like this. But the more I watch it, this is for me, and I know we're going to get to that part in the scoring when we get there, but there is a rewatchability factor for me personally when I'm watching this. I'm like, this is one I could put on and not think about.
Mhm.
And I just like it. So, anyways, funny enough, this has a car chase scene of Nick Fury in it. It's not the best one though. Winter Soldier was the best.
Oh, still it's the best. The gun in the thing.
Part of me was
all of it.
hoping they could have done a little bit of that here too and show the origins of his car chase scenes, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Or him saying, I need a gun in this car.
I can't wait till I get bulletproof.
Yeah, I need some bulletproof. This car should be able to drive itself.
Right?
All that stuff, yeah.
Anyways, why don't you read Act 2?
All right, Act 2 then, guys. Here we go. Varys and Fury track clues about her past to a secret military base, discovering she was once U.S. Air Force pilot Carol Danvers, presumed dead in 1989. They meet Maria Rambeau in Louisiana, where Varys, am I saying the name right?
Yeah, Veers.
Veers, right? I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep putting an A with the R there, but anyway, Veers learns the Skrulls are peaceful refugees. The Kree are the actual oppressors, and Dr. Wendy Lawson was actually Marvel. Carol, Nick, and Maria venture off with Talos and find Marvel's spaceship, which is hiding Skrull refugees. Jan Rog captures Carol and places her inside a virtual reality to face the Kree Supreme Intelligence, but Carol rejects their mental leash and fights back. Okay.
All right. Okay, so what worked for you?
So this twist actually works real well, I think. Why I say that is because, once again, this movie, I think we kind of brought this up already, but this movie is really good at, like, there's really no villain. I think when we get to Act 3, we're gonna talk about this more, I think.
Mhm.
But this solidifies that, at some point you're kind of, okay, so wait a minute, who's the bad guy here, right?
Mhm.
And there isn't really one. I mean, if there is one, it's this lie that's been told by, the people she's working for.
Yeah, the Kree.
Yeah, the Kree themselves. Um, so I guess technically the villain is a Kree, but what's unique is this story keeps going back to this core thing of, it's about her figuring herself out and who she is and where she's from and what she's doing.
Mhm.
Um, in fact, I love Jude Law in this part. Like, I think he plays this well because, like, you want to trust him. You like him. He's clearly no good.
Mhm.
But he's really not no good, though. Like, he's, he believes in this. He believes in their mission.
Mhm.
But he also cares about her. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I do. He is
I mean, the mission's gonna come first, which ultimately kind of figure that out.
yeah, that's like his own version of patriotism to
Yeah.
Hala and to the Kree Empire, I get it.
But
Um,
he does it's I don't think there's no pleasure in what he's doing with her. Do you get that from him? I know maybe when I'm watching it, he's playing it very well in that it's business, it's what we gotta do, but he'd rather her not, be in the position she's in. He'd rather her just be with him in this, and
yeah,
right?
I see that, but I also see the manipulation aspect of it,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
where he's how do I say this properly? Because I don't wanna say it wrong, but it's this very like, he knows obviously where she came
That's
from.
right, yeah.
And so he doesn't want her to realize that. And he also knows that she harnesses the soul stone's power and energy within her, which is very unique. Um
He's treading this line of
it
knows the truth, hiding it from her, definitely will do whatever it takes to make sure she doesn't figure it out, and if she
mhm.
does, he's willing to do whatever it takes, basically.
He's yeah,
But
he's
I think he's always liked that she was there, like, he's like the bad guy that is kinda like, "Oh, but I'm kinda friends with this person I'm manipulating too." I get that feel
yeah,
from him. It's
yeah,
heartbreaking
it's
in a way for him, in a way.
if anything, I it comes across to me as very male dominant.
Well, he's definitely that, for
Like,
sure.
and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make a comparison between men and women type thing, but you can see the similarities of how he treats her is like, I'm your equal, but I'm also always your superior,
Yep.
and so you can't question me.
That could be
And
the militant side of him
yeah, and when you
more
start
than
questioning me, I could spin it around into something else.
mhm, mhm.
He does that especially very well in when we get to the third act, when the whole touching back down on Earth and
Oh, yeah.
manipulating her type thing. But before we get to there,
Yeah.
on this in this act, yeah, he's actually not in this act so much other than trying to find her until the end when they do find
That's
her. And
true, I
then
was kinda jumping
yeah,
ahead a tad
yeah,
because,
but
well,
you're right
I
though.
just like him, or I like the role he plays in it.
Mhm.
And I like this whole inside her head sequence, it's really cool, or not, well, not inside her head, but the virtual reality stuff is really cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Um,
we didn't touch upon that in Act 1, and it definitely it plays through into Act 3 too.
yeah,
That you see who you admire because you can't see the, supreme intelligence in its natural form,
right,
whatever the heck that looks like,
yeah.
honestly.
I
I
like
mean,
that though, because it's a
if you look
mystery.
at the comics,
Yeah.
he's like this big glob
Oh,
with a
yeah,
face.
I guess this is
So,
better than
it's nice not to see that, but but I agree. Yeah, no,
but ultimately, this switch with Talos where, like,
mhm.
he's kind of the bad guy in this,
Yeah, you think he's the bad guy, and then he's
yeah.
misunderstood, and at least his fraction of scrolls aren't in it for they're just trying to be refugees. They're just trying to survive.
Yeah,
The
it's a
cr
pretty good moment in this when he talks about this.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that twist.
Me too.
It was jarring when I first saw it in the theaters because I always understood the Skrulls as bad guys. But also what the MCU has shown is the Kree are bad guys too. So that's why I said in the beginning of this, it's kind of like the friend of my friend is the enemy of my friend. Wait a minute. What's the saying go? The enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. I feel like that is kind of what this whole thing, the dynamic between among humans and Skrulls and Kree are like. And so this movie really does show the Kree and Skrull side of things. But I mean, in Nick Fury and Maria's case, they're like, I'm not sure if I trust either one of these weirdos, you know? These weird species thing.
I
Carol,
don't blame him either.
yeah, Carol definitely has turn the tide and switch sides on the whole. She has a personal reason why, because her life is brainwashed from the Kree. So she would be trusting of the Skrulls more so after it's come to light exactly her past. And she realizes her name is not Veers. That's just the ending of her last name. It's Carol Danvers and all that stuff. I like that twist to it.
Yeah, me too.
That it's very creative that they portrayed the Kree as they're trying to be benevolent, but also keeping her in line. And I think that's what you were touching upon, is that he's just there for the mission, and she's so powerful, but we can't let her know she's that powerful.
Yeah.
So always do the gaslighting on her and things like that to make it where she doesn't really know. And then this is the same act where she comes to that moment of truth when she's hearing the black box. I think it's a black box, right?
It's the black box.
Yep.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And that's when the visual memories for us, we're seeing it, and I think she's actually reliving it as she's hearing it come forth with all that happened. I think that's really cool. That's really creative.
I agree.
I love the funny moments where the they put the floppy disk in and they're waiting for it to go.
Yeah.
And
all the 90s aesthetic is so cool.
It's so cool. Carol's like, what's happening? And Fury's like, it's downloading. And then you get that scroll that's like,
Yeah.
That's funny. That was really good. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked the whole twist of some things of Dr. Wendy Lawson revealing her real name, her Kree name, and that she's trying to be a rogue to her nation type thing, and saving the Skrulls and finding refugees. You know what's something that I don't think they touch upon? I don't know how long it's been since Carol, and maybe you can say this is part of what didn't work, but I ignore it because it's not that consequential, I guess. The Skrulls that are hiding in Marvel's ship.
Okay.
They've been there this whole time. So Dr. Wendy Lawson is conducting all these different experiments to create warp speed, light speed, using the Tesseract so they could be able to go as far away as they can to find refuge. These Skrulls are just living in her spaceship, and then she dies. Carol gets brainwashed. I don't know how long it is since Carol becomes a Kree to a degree, joins the Starfleet, and then it comes back down to this. Those Skrulls have been in there a long time.
It feels like they want you to think it's a while.
Like for Carol's case,
some camaraderie, like
yeah. Well, the thing is, for Carol's case, it feels like it's a long time because she's being trained by them and she's learning stuff. She knows enough
think
of
it's
him.
A long time, right? Like
yeah, it could be that too. That's not really explained. I wish that part was that we jump spit because Talos's daughter is young.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like there's no dialogue that says how you've grown.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just there.
It is interesting
So,
what this, because if it is a quick turnover, it's kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like it worked. It's earned.
That's the only thing that I know.
It stole 3 hours of her life.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They didn't explain it one way or the other.
Right.
Either for Talos's case, saying, "Oh, you're not a baby anymore," making it sound like, okay, it's been a long time, which would make sense, or saying to Carol, it's only been like 48 hours, but we've made your brain think you've been with us for like 40 years or something crazy. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
Like, so that doesn't get explained. So there's a little bit of a time discrepancy for me, at
There's a
least, when I
few time
watch it.
discrepancies in this movie, though, unfortunately,
Mm,
and I think that's some of the problem I have with it is I see them more so with the more watches. This will be my 5th watch of this movie altogether.
mm.
I actually why I didn't watch this one more than once this last week is because I watched this, like, a week before we started our podcast.
Ah,
So
yep.
I was kinda like it was one of more fresher in my mind anyway,
Yeah.
but this is one of those nights sitting there, "Well, I haven't watched that one in a
Oh,
while," then I threw it on, you know?
who hasn't done that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
totally.
lots of times. But, do they maybe I'm kicking myself in the butt now, folks, and I apologize for not being over-prepared because we usually are over-prepared for a podcast. I feel like I'm under, even though I got a ton of notes, but do they explain, and maybe I just forgot, how they get the Tesseract?
I was thinking that myself last night as I'm preparing my notes. I'm like,
Because there's as far as we know, Howard and them have it at the base in the 70s.
mhm.
So how'd it get here?
Well,
I mean, okay, here's
okay. So, let
we could figure it out, but where do they say in the movie though? You know what I'm saying? And this is the complaint I'm gonna have. I think it would make sense if we figure it out, but do they ever tell us that though?
I don't think the timeline for them is that consequential. As long as it doesn't contradict one of the other times we see the Tesseract or the movies, I don't think they need to explain that part.
Yeah, but I think some of it means a little bit though, because even with Nick Fury, remember when Nick was sitting with and I'm gonna get back
Mhm.
to the Tesseract with this. Nick in Iron Man, is it 3? Yeah, when he makes the new no. Yeah, it is. Iron Man 3 where he puts him under house arrest and he has to make his own element, right?
Nick Fury's not in
Or is
number.
it Iron Man 2?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, why did I say
Okay,
3?
that's right.
You
It's
know what I'm
okay.
talking about.
I
It's because
get
they're
what you're
sitting in
saying.
a place it's after the fight.
Yes.
It's after
Yep.
the fight.
Yes.
That's why I thought 3, I thought his house was destroyed, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry guys, brain fart.
It's
So
okay.
Iron Man 2 is Nick Fury sitting with him, and he says something about his dad. Oh, his dad, my dad didn't really care much, and Nick says, "Yeah, on the contrary, he did." He goes, "Oh, so you know my dad more." Nick's like, "I knew your dad real well," you know? But according to the MCU, Howard dies in, like, 91 with the tape from Bucky, right?
Okay. Yep.
And Nick, he says in this movie, he becomes part of SHIELD, which is funny because technically they're not called SHIELD till way later because and they're talking in the 90s, he's calling it SHIELD, but Coulson said they were still trying to figure it out. But I think that was more of a joke. It's okay. I'll let something like that pass. But so maybe Nick was the one that called it SHIELD all the time, and Coulson's finally was like, yeah, we're going to call it SHIELD. You know what I mean? So it's fine. It's no big deal. But he tells them that there's clearance levels to SHIELD, and it's like 1 through 10, right? And if I'm not mistaken, in the show, it's colors, but in the movie, it's numbers. So it's 1 through 10. So Nick tells her that he became a member of SHIELD 6 years ago, and it's 1995. So what's that make it? 1989?
Mhm.
And Howard dies in 91, but Nick is not have any kind of clearance in this still, which is some of his issue, is he's trying to become
Mhm.
more so. I think I wrote it down. As a matter of fact, did he say? Yeah, I did. So if Fury was at a low level in 1990, he was at level 3, he said, in 1995. Howard dies in 1991. So Nick Fury had to be what? At best, a level 2 in 1991?
Yeah,
Would he
depending on
even know who Howard is?
well, Howard Stark, kinda like everyone knows of Tony
Right,
Stark.
but would they know? Okay, so he'd know who Howard is, but would he know what he's doing? Or if he's even working for SHIELD? To me, that's the kind of secretive stuff that they always put this front on that SHIELD knows a bunch of stuff, and sometimes people within SHIELD don't know until they hit a certain clearance, so then nobody can tell a certain thing, right? And it's like, so what? A level 2 guy knows Howard Stark's working on the Tesseract? Enough enough to tell Tony I know him more than you do? I mean, granted, I know Howard wasn't around and for Tony a lot, but I imagine around a little more, and he was around Nick Fury. at a level 2. He's like a guy at a desk, typing. I don't know. It's not, I might be overthinking, but I feel this is going to come to my kind of hot take later, this whole idea, because the Tesseract is another one of them. I think it's easy. You're right. Is it consequential? As long as it ends out back with S.H.I.E.L.D. later, because that's where it is in Avengers, right?
Because I think technically speaking,
It ends back in S.H.I.E.L.D's hands.
I think it's still in S.H.I.E.L.D's hands. Pegasus is an offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a project.
Don't they use the Tesseract, the Kree in them, the what's-her-face?
They're trying to find it this whole time.
Okay.
Dr. Wendy Lawson has hid it up in her ship.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So she just must have stole it then.
Well, maybe she didn't steal it because it sounds like she has clearance to do stuff with it.
So she stole it under the guise of being a clearance and S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those, and this is all hypothetical, but to me, this is what I feel like is the logic thing. After it was found by Howard Stark in the Antarctic and Captain America, yada, 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 la la lulu lulu.
Oh, yeah.
Then it was in S.H.I.E.L.D's hands.
For a long time.
But just like how Howard was testing on it to see about its power, I think they let her test on it too. I think she came to Earth looking for a source of energy and she tracked it to Earth. And
I think you're 100% correct. I just wish they'd articulate this.
And maybe, yeah, I agree. And from what we know of this movie, she's kind of a double agent where she is saying that she is a Kree scientist, which she is, but to the Earth, she's just a human scientist and she gets enough clearance or enough trust or however that goes about where she has her own team in the Air Force through Project Pegasus under S.H.I.E.L.D. to test it.
Okay.
And maybe just for craps and giggles, maybe she and Howard know about this type thing, but no one is putting 2 and 2 together. I do agree that I think that there should have been more somewhere along the MCU timeline dialogue or mentioning that, oh, I know of Dr. Wendy Lawson.
Or yeah. Well, and that's just it. That's where I'll get more clear on it with my hot take, but I'm going to add a couple things onto this just for you to put a little pin in it and remember why I brought it up since we got this far with this thing, because it will get... Act 3 really doesn't touch on it again, and I want to talk about Act 3 without thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, the continuity issues in this with that, it's very small and minute, but once you notice them, it bothers me. And there's one big one from Endgame that we got to talk about still, that I hate the fact that I figured it out, and I don't know if I'm going to save it for next week. I should.
Yeah, when we talk about Endgame.
Trust me. I've already brought it up to you, and it's eating at me now, and I hate it. Because I don't want it to, but it is. I don't think it's going to change my score because of Endgame itself, but at the same time, it's a good freaking question, right? You know what I'm talking about? Actually, and there's 2 of them now. I'll tell you off air before we get to Endgame, just so you and I can be prepared to talk about
it. Y'all better be prepared for next week.
But both have to do with stones.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the problem with some of it. But my problem, and like I said, we'll get to the hot take, but the couple other little things, real dumb, which you can kind of explain that don't necessarily contradict. But it's like, in Avengers, Nick Fury's like, we started making weapons with the Tesseract because once Thor and his people shown up and they realized how there's no way we could fight these guys unless we start making weapons, we found out that 1, we're not alone, and 2, we're under-equipped. Well, he's known we're not alone for quite a while.
Yeah.
So why is it taking so long to do the weapons thing, right? That, and the other thing is he's got a beeper for her if some shit goes down. So an alien invasion in New York City in 2012, he's not
enough.
Her.
Nope.
Come on, not enough? A nuclear bomb? I'm telling you.
He has the Avengers there.
It's no.
Yeah, he literally has a god and another god that came out of the ice. He's like, we got this. Had Loki won, yes, he would have pressed the button. He didn't win.
Yeah, he didn't, but you can't foresee that, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Ultron's about to drop a piece of the Earth back onto the Earth.
He was literally the cavalry to help turn the tide on that war.
He showed up with a ship to get people out of it. It's all he did.
He's.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but
yeah, I get it.
Saying, right?
I get it.
Okay, I get it. He does have the Avengers, but it's like, it seemed like it was a last minute, all of it. It's like, I would be pushing that button so fast when you got her. But, oh, wait, aliens are coming to New York City. You guys are fighting. You guys are doing good. You're doing good. Well, I got your back. Click. And she just show up and it'd be over.
But that's the thing. He needed them to form that team. He lied about the Coulson things to get them together.
And they could still have the ace in the hole. Why would you take it down to the last second?
But they wouldn't have been able to do the bonding that they needed to do. Just so it could be destroyed later.
No way he foresee Iron Man grabbing that nuke and flying it up into space.
But I don't think
he did not.
He didn't foresee the nuke coming too. He even tried to shoot it down.
As soon as that hole opened, I had to push that damn button to call Carol. You're messing with the lives of the entire planet. And Nick's an asshole. He lies a lot.
He does.
I think that some of that's part of this.
What do they call that? He's a BSer.
He's great at being a spy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. My God. You think, dude, you got all this time? So he had to wait till he saw people getting dusted before he pushes that button.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially when he was about to be dusted. That's why he did it.
It's Nick's problem now, right?
Yeah, when he can't be there to make sure things are getting done right, that's when he pulls out the big guns.
Other things got done right. The nuclear bomb still went out there. He showed up to rescue people off of a thing that if they didn't stop, it wouldn't have mattered if he rescued them or not. He should have been pushing that button 100 times. I get it. Those are little things though that support my hot take. So with that said, let's finish up Act 2.
Okay.
And then I'll give you this hot take that I don't think a lot of people are gonna like. And unfortunately, it is what I think is going to bring the distance between you and I with this movie now. Which is funny because I talked you into liking this movie. But the thing is I still like it for the same stuff I talked you into. Now there's new things I don't like. These retrospectives can be almost awful to you. It's like, no, I actually liked that one. Damn it. But it's what it's doing to me.
All right, so okay. I just noticed here something I didn't say, so we could wrap up Act 2.
Oh, yeah.
I like the whole dive bar scene between them two.
Yeah,
that's really cool. They are their chemistry, like you said, at the end of Act 1.
So good. Really good.
So I love that. Did the pacing hold up for you?
I'll be honest with you. It did get a little slow, but I didn't get bored.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say yes and no. I was like, okay, this can get going, you know. But it wasn't like, detrimental. So it was like, okay, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was fine for me too.
Yeah.
Best character moment?
I kind of like the moment she hears the black box stuff.
Yep. That's mine.
I think that's probably the best part of it.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
That is great. For anyone who said that she didn't have any emotion she exuded, like
she did a great job there.
You see her cry. You see that this is just the type of character that she is herself. That she's not one to get overly emotional. And isn't that what people complain about when it comes to women at the end of the day? They get too emotional.
You'd say
Carol is like almost the exact opposite. And even some people still complain about that, but she held her ground. She showed more of. I love that actually for a couple of reasons, because it also shows later on when she does unleash her full potential, it goes back in the memory of when she was a little girl. She always kept getting up, always kept doing something, always kept going. And so that makes sense to me that she would have that type of stoic behavior, even while she's finding out her whole life has been a lie that she's known of. Yeah. So to me, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you that the black box thing is the character moment. Score for you?
This one's, I think I'm going to give it another 7.
Okay. I gave it an 8.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yep. I liked it. I liked the emotional beats. The only thing that I had a question over was the timeline when I saw the kids. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, and that's one I didn't catch. It's funny you found that, but...
Yeah, well, when I saw him greeting his little girl, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a touching moment, but then it made me think, you're like, the little girl is like, what, 10? Maybe?
Yeah.
How?
I'm looking it up right now, but...
And these scrolls have been, like, refugeeing in this spaceship for how long? And they don't explain how long it's been since she got her powers and brainwashed all the way to this point.
I feel like they want us to think it's a while, but at the same time...
Yeah, I agree. I think they want us to think it's a while because she's part of this team. But at the same time, we don't know if when they did that to her brain, that they made her think it's been a while, or it actually has been a while. Because if it actually has been a while, there's a continuity error with the age of the kid alone.
Yep.
Let alone all those scrolls living in there without any. There's no way there's enough food in there for 30 years. Unless, just saying.
Well, it's definitely not his kid then either.
Okay, well, actually, we could figure this out because they give a date on there when she went missing, presumed dead, right? It's right there. Presumed dead in 1989. This movie takes place
In 1995. So 6 years.
Okay. 6 years, though, without...
That means the kid was a baby.
Yep.
So it's feasible. It's still a long
Yeah,
time.
it's still a long time, and so...
It's not ridiculous, though.
Maybe I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but...
It's not ridiculous.
It's still...
It's not like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, but did they have food for that whole time? How do scrolls work?
I mean, maybe they eat poop. I don't know. There's like recycle. I see. Maybe there was more of them.
Maybe they're, oh my God.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Grandma's getting old. Oh well, beef jerky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am surprised that Dr. Larson didn't show that there's like, hey, if I die, it's kind of like the old lady with the cats.
Yeah.
You gotta have a backup plan for when you croak.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrible comparison, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's like there's little things in this movie that is kind of just ignored, like that little thing. Like
she did those scrolls a disservice.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to save you. Oh, if I die, no one else is gonna know you're here. So you just might die of starvation now,
right?
As opposed to genocide.
Right,
So
yeah. Good luck.
Which did you prefer? So,
all right. So let's get Act 3.
Yeah, I'll read Act 3 and we'll get right into this.
Okay.
Guy. All right. Breaking the Kree implant that limited her abilities, Carol accesses, Lord have mercy, her full binary potential. She protects Fury, Maria, and the Skrull refugees, fights her former Star Force teammates, and single-handedly destroys Ronan the Accuser's incoming ballistic missiles. Carol defeats Yan-Rog, sends a warning back to the Supreme Intelligence on Hala, and departs Earth to help the Skrulls find a new home.
Okay.
Did the ending land for you?
So
the ending, to be clear, is her flying away with the Skrulls. Right?
I think that's a very good ending. I think her helping them find something is...
And it also explains why she's not anywhere.
Around.
Yeah, around.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still a beeper, but...
Yeah,
but she's not here. I get that. So she's not here. Yeah. So yeah, that does land. And I'm just going to go over to the climax real fast. I think the climax is earned, but I do have some gripes.
Okay.
The two things that stick out to me is it really, where before I was okay with it, I guess this time I realized, that is pretty anticlimactic. Like it is kind of against itself in that sense. Like when she does get all powerful, it really just kind of, okay, it's over. You know what I mean? Which is the argument there, I will say I'm half and half on. Part of it's like, well, yeah, that's the point of this movie. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It actually is. It's a great argument. The other part of me goes, oh, but there was no real big buildup then, like other than what's happened. And I think this is when I realized I missed the fact that this movie had a chance to be a better mystery movie. And it actually was more like it just was not. Like there's no interactiveness about the mystery part of this. And I really wish there was. Like this idea of seeing things that and we kind of really see it with them as they learn it. I mean, there was a little bit of that, but there was just a lot of like things you would never thought, and they just figured stuff out. And then we get into just some, she decides who she is, does her thing, kicks everybody's butt, and it's over. And it's like, oh, there is a little anticlimax to this, but I think it's okay being where it's placed in the MCU. So I know what I was getting at. So is the climax earned? Yes and no. I'm going to say I definitely feel like the climax is shortened. But I like it when she does have all her powers. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But she also gives me the Superman effect sometimes. And I like her. I have the same problem with Sentry right now. I like her, but it's almost like, you're too much.
Well,
I don't like too much
to
in
to
these
your
heroes.
to your
but
point there, that's one of the things that I initially was turned off with the Eternals, is thinking that they were going to be more so of the Justice, because they're supposed to be like the gods among men type thing, a
Yeah.
Justice League type thing. But that then in retrospect, and we're gonna get to that retrospect soon, actually, because like 4 or 5 movies away, to be honest, which
Oh, yeah,
is
it's close.
crazy
Yeah.
to think about that we've gotten that far. But anyways, that yes, I do agree that she feels a little OP,
Yeah.
but
It will.
there's
It'll make a little more sense in my hot take why I don't like it.
mm,
Although for the movie, I think it's cool.
they haven't. That's the thing. They haven't shown anything. Like, I don't know. Is it on my hot take? Is it on my thing here? It is somewhere's on here.
Okay.
But the that thing that they put on her neck to dampen her powers. How is my
It's a MacGuffin, and it's basically
because isn't that
it's
what
a
Peter
because.
Parker just made?
Yeah.
But yet the Kree have had this for a long
I was
time.
just about to bring that up too. Yeah.
Right? Like, it's awesome, and it doesn't take away from my experience of Brand New Day seeing that. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it and I see it in this movie, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I think it proves my theory right, which is gonna hurt this movie a lot if you see it. If all of a sudden I change your mind.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't want to ruin this movie for you because I know this movie's been a roller coaster anyway. But
it has been, and I do find it very favorable and everything. It's
Mhm.
just that there's these little things like the timeline, which I guess if you really think about it, you can figure it out. But
it
I
shouldn't
don't
be
think
that
we
hard.
shouldn't have to be thinking
You
about
shouldn't
that
have to
hard.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, what's your best moment for Act 3?
Act 3 best moment is I'm trying to remember. I think I wrote it down. Let me get you tell yours while I get to my notes.
Okay, mine is her not killing Yanrog.
Yep, that's mine
And
too.
instead telling him to send a message, and I like how she blasts the ship to make it go. And yeah. I also
It is a good choice.
and well, speaking of another good
my
choice, when he decides he's going to start talking to her and try to gaslight her into saying,
yeah.
"Oh, this is perfect. This is
Yeah.
great for you. You're controlling your emotions." In the middle of him talking, she blasts him, and I'm thinking, "Thank God."
Yeah.
Because how often do we hear just the monologue of a villain and you just want to say, "Just shut up."
Yeah, just shut him up.
And
Yeah.
she did.
Yep.
I like that. I thought that's a good.
I agree. I like that whole scene. I
Yeah.
think is real good.
Yeah. All right, and what's your biggest issue? I wrote down Fury's eye. I'm like,
Yeah, I do not like the Fury's eye thing.
no,
I gotta tell you,
I
man.
feel like just like with who do we talk about in our hot takes in our Fury takedown, that we should just keep Joker's origin a mystery.
Yeah.
We should have just kept Fury's eye a
I just want a
mystery.
different story of it every time. You know?
I love that. I
him-
feel like it brings more weight.
You let him use it to whatever the situation is.
Because now every time I watch anything of him, I'm remembering of how he actually got that eye. And
yeah.
I guess to a degree it's like, oh, that's funny, but also it's nice not knowing.
Yeah, and everybody loved this whole cats being the flirkin thing. And I gotta be honest with you, it's a joke that didn't really land with me that much.
I don't mind it here. I hate the sequel.
Oh.
Well, the sequel
that's
has
gonna be a hard movie to talk about.
the
but yeah.
sequel has so many issues. I don't know how they made that without figuring that out. I'm blown away. It's like no one saw anything.
It's kind of how this movie feels. But yes, you're right. I agree that it's the. I don't like cats anyway, much.
Nah, I don't either.
I love animals. I love them, but like I don't like them. So
fun fact is Brie Larson's allergic to cats,
oh,
so
man,
she couldn't even have a
had
cat
dog
with her.
You know
Yeah, it should have been a dog, but Carol Danvers had a cat.
Nick should have never lost his eye. It should have just ended with everybody thinking it's going to happen and it just never happens.
Mhm.
Or a moment that's like almost did. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, this is a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine where there's a guy in the future, like these three friends group of friends get in a hot tub and they go back in time to the 80s to a specific moment that they have to make sure happens over and over again. There's a guy in the future who's a bellhop at this hotel where this hot tub is. He has a missing arm. And he says, when did you lose that? He told him the year he lost it. It happens to be the year they go back to. So when they see him, he's got both his arms. And they're like, tonight's the night he loses his arm. And it's like 9 times in the movie where he almost loses his arm, like because they're like, "Oh my god, they're waiting for it to happen." It's hilarious, and he never does lose it. So it's like, so you never really find out. And to me, I think that's how they should handle the Nick thing. And just don't lose his eye. Just let it be something we go, "Oh man, they kept us hanging on that." I actually would have enjoyed the meta-ness of that. You know what I mean? Rather than,
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's okay. But
I had something else that didn't work. Oh yeah, Ronan showing up. Really, we need this?
well, see, the thing that doesn't work for me about that, I like Ronan.
You like Ronan. You should be more mad about this than I am.
What I'm upset with is there's in throwing him in like this, there's no. I like that he's there. His promise means nothing. We'll come back for the weapon. You mean the woman? When he says that, it makes you think, okay, he's going to be searching for her. He never searches for her. When we get to Guardians of the Galaxy, he's just being Ronan the Accuser.
Maybe it's the first thing he wanted to do after he got the stone was, I'm going to get this.
I'm going
to kill Thanos and then go find that woman.
It would be nice if he said that then, because the whole time it just doesn't seem. I don't know. That's the only part that I'm like, I wish there was. Well, what would have been smart is they would have done a follow-up movie still in the past, just in a different part of the galaxy, and have Ronan be there and explain why he stops pursuing her. That would have been something.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you exactly why this happened this way. It feels this way, but that's going to be in a few moments.
Oh boy. Okay. I get it. All right. What's your score for Act 3?
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that she gets a power. I like that the movie's simple. I actually still embrace from before all those things we talked about. But seeing these flaws, I'm struggling taking some things seriously. I'm not a fan that she's the one that come up with the name Avengers.
Oh, I don't mind that.
I don't like
and it's not her. It's Nick that takes it from her call name.
Yeah, it's true.
Carol Avengers.
I don't like
because every Air Force person has a call name.
I don't like it.
I don't mind it.
I don't like it.
Anyways, you gave
it's mini and it's not gonna have anything that doesn't reflect my point. I just don't like it.
You gave it.
It's just so weird.
You gave it a 6. I gave it a 7.
That's pretty close. Yeah. It's funny. It's pretty close.
Yeah, and funny enough, Ronan was one of the reasons why it went down a point for me.
I mean, if you're gonna do something cool,
because I like Ronan, and I like the appearance of him coming to Earth, and this is the first time Earth has ever gotten an invasion, and it makes sense how they did it, where she was destroying them, they just fled, and I'm like, okay, all of that is making sense. What's not making sense is that end line, because there's no follow through of it.
They could have had a really cool 10-minute scene, a 5-minute scene of them having a little mini battle, and him realizing, I'm going to lose, and he escapes. But this whole him just showing up and that's not fair. I'll be back for you. It's all I get from him, like Mr. Poutface. Maybe Danny DeVito should have played Ronan. Anyways,
we're gonna get him in the MCU one way or the other.
Yeah, someday. So
he comes out with a cast of the X-Men.
Yeah,
Bobby Drake.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah,
let's get into the post-credit scene so we can get into some nitty-gritty stuff, because this might be where our stuff sways.
Okay,
some of these nitty-grits.
Why don't you read the mid-credit scene?
Yeah, mid-credit scene, guys, is surviving heroes Captain America, Black Widow, Bruce Banner, and James Rhodes monitor Nick Fury's dead pager at the Avengers compound. The pager suddenly stops blinking, and Captain Marvel appears behind Black Widow, the Black Widow. She asks, "Where's Fury?" setting up her role in Avengers Endgame. And then the post-credit scene is Goose and the Tesseract back at Nick Fury's empty 1990s desk at S.H.I.E.L.D. Goose, the alien cat, a Flerken, hops up onto the desk and coughs up a glowing Tesseract, the cosmic cube, safely onto the papers. See, this is the thing about the Tesseract, is, it gets back because Yeah,
The
whatever.
flirting. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Hey, for such a thing they're all worried about, they're just willy-nilly about, oh, who's got it today? Who signed it out? Get out of here, man. Most powerful thing you ever found on the planet, and you're signing the damn thing out? I'm sorry. Anyways.
You know, I wished in Captain America the Winter Soldier, when Steve visits Fury's office, that the cat was there.
I thought, I thought the same thing. Where's this cat now? Of course, now we know when to see the second one, all that stuff.
Yeah, but even then, that still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Because at the end of this, the cat is there.
Yeah, it's just here, hanging out.
But then when you see the second one, it's with Carol. How to get from there to there?
She must visit. Maybe he pays her to have coffee, but not to save New York City.
You're co-parenting the cat.
Yeah.
You take the Flurkin this
I'm
weekend.
a little bored right now. I have some coffee. What Carol's doing? Beep, beep, beep. She shows up. What's going on? It's like, oh, just having some coffee. No, okay.
You missed an alien
Yeah,
invasion.
take a cat with it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bye. It's like, well, what about happening in New York City? Yeah, we didn't need you. Yeah, you kind of did.
How important are these post-credit scenes to the MCU? I just put very.
Yeah, oh, very much so, yeah.
We definitely wanted to see her in Endgame. And I when we get to Endgame, I loved what the Russo brothers did with her, because she is so overpowerful.
Oh, yeah.
That it's good that how they treated her.
Mm-hmm.
That was really well.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is that they filmed her scenes for Avengers Endgame before her solo movie. Did you know that?
That actually helps my whole argument and my hot takes a lot.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I completely believe that. I didn't know that, but 100% makes sense.
That's why it's funny is that she wears makeup in Avengers Endgame, but in this one, she doesn't, because they're trying to do a more natural look to her, because they didn't have makeup, so to speak, on the Kree. But she filmed all her Endgame scenes before she did this whole movie. Anyways. So I gave the score a 10 out of 10 for the credit scenes.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really care for the post-credit one so much, but the
mid one.
The mid one's a big one.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Deep dives, guys. Casting and performances. Best performance of the movie.
Let me scroll down to my guy here.
So I have two, and it's going to be very obvious ones. I feel like that's kind of what the purpose of these solo movies are, is if you're the problem is, if your solo character is not your best performance, you've dropped the ball somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do like Brie Larson in this movie and Samuel L. Jackson. I put them both as best performances.
I can agree to that. I put Sam Jackson, but I can agree with Brie stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the best of the movie, though, unfortunately. But I think for the sake of the other ones I'm going to put in the other spots, to me, it's just as equal. Mm-hmm. So I'll put them there for sure. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Most surprising performance.
I think this goes to both Talos and Jude Law.
Okay.
I
agree with that.
Jude Law
actually
just kills it every time he's on screen.
He was my close second, but Ben Mendelsohn was definitely my first.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, both of them I fully agree with.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn, he does this thing where he can be funny and not compromise the character, and still have joke after joke after joke, but not compromise what's going on. And Jude Law just brings his A game every time, even if it's a smaller role or whatever. Especially if it's a bad guy, whatever it is, he's always on point. So it's hard to not give it to him when I see him often. But yeah, that's where I'm at with
weakest performance.
Oh, weakest performance. Other than Ronan.
But it's so small that it's like, I
gotta be honest with you, Annette Bening really didn't impress me. And she usually does, but Marvel, I'm not a fan. Yeah,
she wasn't like impressive to me, but it wasn't like, oh wow, you can't act type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't think anyone in this is bad.
She in this movie is the legacy actress.
Yeah.
That they get for these
things. And it felt underwhelming. I felt, you could have had somebody else. It would have been just as fine.
Okay. All right. Casting wins or misses.
Did you have a weakest?
I didn't. No.
Oh, you didn't?
I had a hard time figuring out one, and I'm like, I guess in the retrospect of all the characters, Annette was at the end of them all when I go up there, but it wasn't like, oh, I don't like seeing her. Actually, the last scene of hers, I really liked seeing of her on screen. But anyways, yeah. Any casting wins or misses?
Not really misses, but I think a good casting win is definitely a Rambeau. I think
Mm.
her friend is real. Monica, I think is real good. I
Mhm.
like her in this. I don't think it's stellar, and I don't think she steals the show, but very, very believable. Their chemistry as friends.
Yes, chemistry is friends, and her emotion is really good.
Yeah, she's pretty raw, and she's good about being that, and you believe her when that moment when she kind of reminds her who she is.
Mhm.
It's a real good moment. So
I
between them,
agree. She is definitely a casting win, and I think that of all the people they could have picked for Carol Danvers, I liked that they got Brie
yeah,
Larson.
yep,
I think that was smart. I think that's one of the cool things about Marvel is no matter what their movies have been like, for the most part, their casting is
oh yeah,
spot on.
yeah. I mean, there might be a small handful
Yeah,
of ones that you're like, well, I don't know,
yeah,
but
like
other than
yeah,
that, it's pretty much on, like
yeah.
almost always. Yeah, I agree
It's
with
only
you.
when you get to the story or the performance itself that it can
Yeah,
get a little. But again, that's the story and the writing.
right, right.
The casting part, they have yet, for me at least, really dropped the ball.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
all right, any missed opportunities or wasted potential?
Uh, yes, but I'm gonna include that in my hot takes.
Okay. All right, direction and production. For me, I just put everything was good. I didn't have any complaints about this.
Yeah, music was fine. CGI, there's a couple moments I'm like, eek, but actually it's pretty good for the most part. You could tell they spent the money on the de-aging,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll give them the props for that.
Yep.
Some of the space stuff was like, oof, I don't know, but it's all right. It's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
The action scenes are good when they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematography, there's a few unique camera angles and shots that they decided to do and choices, but nothing that really stood out that made me go, oh, this is different, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the director, I couldn't even tell you who it is. I feel like this guy could have been anyone that's done something like this already. So I put all if I was like a 1 out of 100, I put all like a 70.
Mm.
It's there, it's good. It could have been a little more creative. It could have been a little more something here or there, but I think it's fine.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, the de-aging stands out though. I do want to make sure we repeat that because that de-aging stuff is fantastic in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at that. You can't even tell.
Yeah. It's so
It's so
so
seamless.
flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. And it makes you wonder why some other movies are doing better. Like, these guys are doing it so well.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Come on,
I agree.
Scorsese. You're the one that's supposed to make cinema. Anyway,
Mm.
they de-aged Robert De Niro. It looks awful. It's like, oh, no.
Well, you know what's funny? For people that don't that criticize superhero movies,
Mhm.
it's the work that they're putting into these movies that's
Oh,
making your other movies look better.
and not to mention how many people they employ. You
Oh,
talk shit all you want, but your business has been held up for a while now on these movies.
hmm
So
yes, yeah. The money that they're making off of these
you don't
movies,
hear Atlanta complaining when they film there almost all the time.
yeah, at least they used to. That's always been
That's
sad
right.
that
They've changed
it
that
was. I
now.
think it was
Yeah.
after Endgame or after
Right.
it's. It was recent when they decided that it's cheaper to do it overseas. It's because the EU started giving them tax breaks. Come
Well,
on, US.
yeah, and the other part of it is some of the stuff that they do film in different countries, they actually do it there. It's kind of cool. So I
It
do like the
yeah.
location stuff too, but like you're right. It's sad to think that you can't. Why are we being so hard on them? We want to keep everything in the United States, like make it easier.
Well, that's one of the things that does gripe me, and I think that no matter where you stand on politics of this, it's not really a political issue, but I think this is something that the industry could get behind if someone in political power could do something about that, is that if you want jobs to stay in America, then there's no reason to go to Europe to be on green screen soundstage when you could do the same thing in Atlanta like you've already been doing for
Yeah,
so long.
yeah.
So if they're offering tax incentives because they're getting money, major money from some of these places like Disney, why aren't we doing the same thing here
Yeah.
to promote our own industry? You know what I mean?
Especially if you're a state that has a lot of people that are out of work. But hey,
Mhm.
come work on this movie. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
yeah, I get you. It's a weird.
If
It's a
anything,
political bull crap, is what it
the
is.
the coolest thing is if Hollywood decided or Disney or one of these big companies decided, "Hey, let's look at all 48 of our mainland states. What's the one that usually is always struggling financially because they just don't have the landmarks, the tourism, all that stuff? Let's go there and make a studio there, and then you're employing local people that does your basic janitorial stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
You're helping that state
Thousands
prosper.
of jobs. Yeah,
Yes.
literally. On
Like,
sometimes one movie.
yeah, exactly. Like, they could do that stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't,
Yeah.
because it's not cheap. It's not, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sad.
Sad.
Anyways, yeah, especially for a company like Disney, they're multi-billionaires.
Yeah, they could
Like,
buy
they could
that
buy a
state.
state.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so hot takes. Why don't you go ahead with yours?
Okay. So this is my hot take. I have two.
Okay.
It's kind of part in the same though. So my hot take is it's hard to explain. I think that if not for Infinity War and Endgame, if this movie was anywhere else in the MCU, we would not like this movie. And I don't think it would get the attention it gets if it wasn't for the fact that it happens to be between two of the biggest movies. Now, I understand Ant-Man didn't get as big as this did. The argument I have with that is I don't think Ant-Man was ever going to make that kind of money. I don't think it had that kind of crowd anyways. I think this had a lot more promise. For one, it was a female lad and made a big deal about it. For two, it's a big character, bigger than Ant-Man, I would say.
Yes.
And for three, it was a little more prevalent that it had to be more important at the end of Infinity War than Ant-Man was. We didn't know how important Ant-Man was until we got to the end of Ant-Man. But you knew from that pager, you got to watch this.
Yeah.
So this movie had a lot of, we got to see it. And they went to see it. And why I say that is because there's so many little continuity things that are ignored. And just the fact of learning just now that she filmed her stuff in Endgame before she even filmed this movie proves to me that this movie was thrown together to make sure she was in Endgame, which is obvious, but it's more obvious now when you realize, oh, we're just gonna, this date works, right? Oh, it's good. Oh, this works. We don't gotta explain this. Why is the Tesseract here? Don't worry about it. The cat will puke it up at the end. There's a lot of just like round table, what can we do to make this movie work and put it in there? And let's forget about any of the logic that comes with it. The fact that Nick can't claim that they didn't know about stuff from outer space in Avengers, because he did know about stuff from outer space. You know, it's like this movie is a product of, we need to have a powerful character show up in Endgame to tell that story that we want to tell. Then when you actually get to Endgame, as much as I like what they did with her in Endgame, is really not a lot. She brings Tony back from space, and then she fights with Thanos a little bit. That's it.
Well, if anything, what they do in Endgame with her definitely complements this movie.
They justify it enough, but not enough to when you watch this alone, you're like, oh, this is shoehorned in. This movie is shoehorned much like Black Widow is. It's just like, you know what? We got to do this.
Okay.
We have to introduce her.
I see that.
We have to introduce her. We got to do it. So how did somebody make a story? Like, well, someone had a decent idea, which is go back in time like this. It's a great idea because that's where the best parts of this movie are. Is the aesthetic of it being back in time, and not just back in time, but far enough back, like the 90s, which they don't see a lot of movies about the 90s, and de-aging Sam Jackson and making him have a bigger part. A lot of great ideas in this movie, but not thought out very well, because really all they're worried about is why is she there in Endgame. It's all we got to worry about. And that's all they ever worried about, because they didn't really have any other plans for her, because look at what's come from her afterwards. Not a lot, man. We had a crappy show based off of characters that are going to be around her, to a movie that sucks. To now, we don't even know if she's in either of these two coming up. They don't know what to do with her.
They've dropped the ball with her.
They don't
It
know
was
what to do with
sad
her.
because I can think of like 5 different comic lines you could pull from for Carol Danvers, because she's one of my favorite Avenger characters.
I feel like there was pressure to put on, make this happen. They made it happen, and now you feel it. When I'm watching it retrospectively, this movie doesn't make any sense where it is, except that it does at the same time. But it's almost like because it has to. Not because there was a good plan. that, hey, you know what? A good palate cleanser between the two would be introducing a real big character that's supposed to come in the next, you know? So, yeah, it's a good idea. Make a really good story. Oh, no, I feel like it was like hey, where's this movie, guys? Shoot, we got to do this. Well, let's put it here and let's throw the story together. You have well, look at the dates here. Don't worry about it. It's close enough. You know, and that's it. I think that there's a lot of don't worry about it. It's close enough in this movie that make me feel, oh, and then they went overboard with it. If they had just stopped at a couple of them, we wouldn't have noticed the dates in much until now. But even then, we could easily sit here and say, you know what, not too big a deal. Little weird, kind of stupid, little weird. But no one's thought, oh yeah, but hey, if he's got a pager, you know, he's got to page them for the stuff that's happened before. Because clearly, you know, that's true. Like, I know we can joke about it and we can talk about it, and there is a little bit of an argument, but there is a bigger argument to say if alien invasion's happening, especially if you know aliens have been coming before, you call Carol. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's like it just didn't fit, and it doesn't fit well. But it fits. It's like that puzzle piece that's almost the right size, so you force it in there. So when you look at the picture, you're kind of like, this picture's perfect except for that little piece of grass, but it looks like it fits. So it just must be the painting itself. That's this movie. Is it looks like it fits enough that's a slight mistake and we'll just tread past it, which is forgivable. But look at the future of this thing. It's awful, man. Like, it goes nowhere. And that's my worry about all of their powerful characters. Any character they make super powerful, they tend to like, what do we do now? Oh, we got to make Hulk smart. Okay, let's do that. Well, they don't like that. Now what do we do? You know, now whatever they got brewing now sounds way better than what they were trying to do. Give them a kid. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing, right? And then because that's stuff that's really happened. Look at what they done with Sentry. They don't know what to do with Sentry, man. Like, Sentry's great. That movie was great, and what they did in it, going in the head, and her doing all the acrobats, and gets down and says, I'm your buddy, gives me a hug. You know what I mean? Great. I love that part of that movie. Well, I can't wait to talk about that movie for that reason. But ultimately, after that, it's like, Bob, you just go sit in the corner, read books, and we'll figure something out. Next time we see it, it's going to have to be against someone either just as powerful or more. You know, I think it's kind of ridiculous. And even Eternals, they kind of had to kill the one that was like Superman. What else do you do with that guy? Oh yeah, fly him into the sun. Oh, that's not dead on the nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but this is their answer for these OP characters is, yeah, let's sideline them. We'll just use them when it counts. We'll use her to make Thanos look badass for a few moments. And then ultimately, did it really matter that she come back? Not really. Not really. I mean, she did stop the ships from throwing the missiles down, I guess. I don't know. Thor could have done that. It's like, I don't know. I feel like this movie's shoehorned in. And it's a good example of maybe this should have been a one and done as well. Why do we need a second? Why do we need a TV show? Why couldn't they done a really nice, tight little introducer, put it in, have some smarter writers, fill in those gaps, make the puzzle piece really fit, and then just let her be in the MCU. We don't need a second one of her. We've got it, and look what we got. You know?
Well, I agree that the second one is bad,
And it's
but
because they didn't know how to do a second one, so they had to introduce more characters in a TV show and then bring them into her movie. And that's the worst egregious.
well,
That's the most one that's guilty of TV show to movie is that one.
the problem I don't think is, yes, I agree that they didn't know how to do a sequel. But that to me is lazy writing.
100%.
She has her own comic lines. She is so rich in different stuff that she has unlimited, in my opinion, potential of stories you can tell of her.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't treat her like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Do a part 2 where she's out somewhere else doing something that's got nothing to do with her.
Exactly.
Like, why can't we just
If
have an event
she's
that
the
she's
only
on?
she's the only character that can just travel. Just
Wherever she
travel.
wants.
She doesn't need a spaceship. She doesn't
Right.
need to breathe anywhere special. She just goes anywhere.
Yep.
Why aren't we doing Adventures of Carol
But
Danvers
they've never
in space?
tapped into it.
I don't get it.
Mark my words. Doomsday, if she's in it, it's going to be a surprise I showed up
Oh, probably. I believe that.
at one of these two movies coming up. It's going to be someone went and got her, or she's going to surprise just show up out of nowhere. And that to me is like, you don't know what to do with her. You don't know what to do with her until you need her. Then it makes sense. Because it makes sense in Endgame. This movie don't, really, in the long run.
I'm fine with this movie.
It's not a terrible movie, though. but it definitely has got its flaws, and I think the flaws it has is because it's all just get it in there quick. And the problem, and part of that also is part of the story that they had a good idea of that they didn't flesh out real well with the scrolls. They dropped the ball on that too.
Well, I agree that everything after this movie in particular, yes, this movie has flaws. I'm not going to deny that.
And my
but
point is, there's no vision. It's just
There's-
throw a movie in to make her fit, and the vision of it we'll figure out later. And you can tell that they had nothing.
there gets to a certain point, and it's after Spider-Man Far From Home that everything drops with what it looks like they were trying to do. And I would love to look up articles of what happened after that because that technically, Far From Home is technically the end of phase 3. That's how they at least advertised it. And Black Widow starts up phase 4. What happened during those 2 to 3 years because of COVID, that made them change complete course of what they already were projecting for happen in phase 4?
I think they didn't. I think that it wasn't that far planned out. I'm not saying that they didn't have talks and ideas, but I definitely think that there was, once Endgame happened, they had this idea for the Spider-Man movie because it's the best way to go. Even technically in Spider-Man, it's just referencing Endgame. It's not like it was you know what I mean? Like, but Spider-Man, that movie doesn't really have a lot to do with Endgame as much as it is Remember. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
After that, though, it was like, okay, so we're doing Kane, right? Yeah. Multiverse stuff, right? Yeah. What do we got?
I don't think they knew Kane yet.
It might be possible to.
In my opinion,
I wasn't going to go that far.
I honestly think that phase 4,
Was
whatever
off the hip.
Yes, because it felt so directionless until you got to phase 5, and that's when it started with Ant-Man Quantumania and Loki season 2, and that's when they released they're gonna do Kang Dynasty, and you were gonna see something. Then all of a sudden, by the end of phase 5, you had to pivot because of crap that went down, and that's when Doom got shoehorned in and things like that.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Marvel was smart enough to say, we're not shoehorning in Dune. We're giving it another year and a half to film and flesh it out and make sure it looks great, which is making me optimistic.
Yeah, I give them credit for not just getting it done quick.
Yes, because they could have. Actually, funny enough, as we're recording this at this time, Secret Wars would have already been out according to their original timeline.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, forget that.
Yeah, and now we still won't get it for another year and a half.
I'm okay with that, though.
I'd rather, yes.
Just make it good. Like we said before, it's not how long we wait for an Avengers movie. It's whether it's good or not.
Yep.
Yeah, just give us good stuff and we'll come for it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this character, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't know why anyone at Marvel did not know what to do with her after that, because I could have explained 10 different things you could have done with her.
So
that would have been much better.
Here's a little experiment for you, just to give you how I feel about this movie in general right now.
Oh boy.
Think about all the movies up until Endgame, okay? Because that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
Yep. I can even say to Spider-Man No Way Home. Or Far From Home, I mean.
Far From Home. Okay,
but let's just go to Endgame for now.
Okay.
Think about all these movies. Which one feels most like phase 4 and 5? This movie. It's not awful. It's not going to get a 0. Hell, it's definitely going to get a decent number. Like, I'm not saying hate it. I'm just saying, don't that feel more directionalist than the rest?
To me, it doesn't.
Ooh,
and
it does for me.
Because I see the potential from this movie going onward. Minus the little flaws inside it, I get it. But it's after this that I don't know why they stopped. They dropped the scrolls. Like, every bit of this movie, they dropped Monica Rambeau, Maria's daughter. Right. Yes. They dropped the whole Captain Marvel 2, how they did it. They even renamed it because they didn't want it to be about Carol. I don't know why. That's crazy. And then they set up at the end of Far From Home, the scrolls were on Earth at that point. Like, that's a big deal. and they decide to turn it into a TV show instead of that's our next Avengers movie. That would have been or should have been your next Avengers movie. Secret Invasion should have been an Avengers level event that was kind of like Captain America Civil War for Carol. What the
Great idea.
hell
I like that,
happened?
yeah. Well, the writing's so sloppy, man. That's what makes me feel like it's just get this done. Just get this done, guys. Yeah, but it kind of is a weird place to fit it. It's okay. It's okay. They're not going to notice. Do a cool reference. Hey, make a call sign Avenger. Cool. They won't forget. They'll forget all about the dates and times and where people were and why they're this and Ronan forgetting about her and all that. They won't worry about that stuff. Well, we do, especially when we're doing what we're doing, which is if we didn't do this, I wouldn't have caught some of that. I just keep watching this movie, not worried about it. But because we're digging it apart,
then you're seeing it.
I see it. Unfortunately, that's my struggle with it. Because really, I'm with you. I can't disagree, man. This movie's fun. Like, it's real good to watch. It's pleasant to watch. The acting's fun. It's way better than we thought it was going to be. You know, the idea of not having a villain and it being that kind of the climax as her becoming her was something I even had to talk you into, kind of. And then, and that part of it, I'm still on board with.
Yeah, I like it.
Now there's just little glaring things that make me realize this movie, oh, they didn't plan on this shit. They didn't plan on this shit. This was just like, we needed her in Endgame. This is how we get her in there. They were able to pull it off and do a decent movie, made $1 billion. Good job. Only made that because it's between these two, and the pager was at the end of the last. I swear. If this was in the mix of the other ones that we just got done doing, it would be like, this is out of place. This is weird. What's going on here?
What's funny enough is you compared that this is more of a feeling of what Phase 4 and 5 are like. However, if this specific movie was in Phase 4 and 5, it would have been one of the best movies of Phase 4 and 5.
I agree. I definitely, I'm not saying, because I'm not saying it's a bad movie in that way. I'm just saying that it feels convoluted like those do. Where they're just kind of like, just do it. We'll worry about it making sense later. It just happens to be a better version of some of the others. Because there's still good ones in Phase 4 and 5, we see. But people don't like. You know, other people don't like. But, like, there's still good ones. This would have been a better one of Phase 4 and 5. For sure. And it may have fit a little better. Honestly, it kind of feels like Black Widow. But
ooh, I wouldn't go that far.
I think it's better than Black Widow, but it feels like Black Widow.
Black Widow had a couple very glaring problems. I don't know why they didn't. I think that they thought it was going to be cool, and it turned out to be very disappointing.
Well, Black Widow suffers from the same thing. Just get it done, guys. Just get it done. Put it in there. She deserves it. Just put it in there.
That I agree to.
It's too late.
When we get to Black Widow, that's probably one of the biggest hot takes about this movie. That actually is not a hot take; it's just a take at this point because. This movie, I don't feel that same way.
Because when does Black Widow take place? Anyway.
Yeah, after Civil War.
So this should have been after Civil War.
It should have. Yep.
Because why not? Because even if it wasn't that good, you'd have gotten Thor, and we'd have been, oh, thank God. That was just a hiccup. We got that done with. You know? Like, I don't know.
Black Widow had a lot of potential, but Black Widow is also one of those characters I don't see a trilogy.
No, I don't either.
Black Widow, at the moment, it's proven to be a one and done. That is a one and done type of movie. No offense to Natasha Romanoff, but
and truthfully, this little magic trick they did of making this one work and kind of bluffing us and making us not see the corners they cut should have been where they stopped with her for the movies.
But
or do the Guardians of the Galaxy thing and put her somewhere that's got nothing to do with anything else.
She has a lot more potential.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Than Black Widow.
The direction they decided to go was just not good.
It helped Black Widow's story being in other people's movies.
100%. Yeah.
But Carol is that type of character. I can see she needs to have her own movies.
Yeah.
But they just don't know. Like you said, they don't know what to do with her, which I'm shocked they don't know what to do with her. This is
me too, because there's a lot.
To me, this is simple. But whatever.
So that's my hot take. I mean, it's not too hot, but it's definitely, I don't know. It's kind of how I feel about it.
It's a hot take. Yeah. All right. So, best scene in the movie.
Best scene in the movie. Let me get back to my.
I had a hard time picking one scene that I would say is my favorite type thing. I do like her fighting her Starfleet team. So I put that as my favorite scene, only because the part that falls apart is how long were you actually part of the team. But I liked that she knew of these people and then she's fighting them and she's joking around with them as she's doing it.
Yeah, I don't buy that they know each other that well.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
I agree. Though.
Best scene in the movie, though, I'm gonna give it probably when Talos tells them the twist. I think it works so well.
Mm.
I love it, and it's a little comedy there with it as well. But this also very sincere and I like that scene. It's a very relatable scene for an alien standing there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of weird things going on in this scene, but I like it. Like, I think it's the best scene.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Least best scene.
Ronan showing up. It's awful. And it's not because I don't like Ronan. It's because it just was come to nothing in the long run, meant nothing. And why bring him back to just have him say a couple lines and leave? They could have had a really unique scene there, and it was definitely a drop of the ball.
I do agree that it was a drop there. I like the scene though. I just wish that. See, Ronan didn't need to be there.
Well, yeah,
It could have been any other Kree.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, best villain moment.
Oh, you're not telling me yours.
Oh, my least favorite scene? I had a hard time.
And your best scene. You didn't tell me your best scene either.
Yeah, I told you my best scene. That's her fighting her old team.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you about Ronan being there is not consequential. But
the only other one that is close to that is the cat in Nick Fury's eye thing.
That probably
don't
is.
buy it at all.
I'm gonna put that as my least favorite scene.
So dumb.
Why the heck? That should have been changed. Anyways, best villain moment. I put Jan Rog's attempt to gaslight Carol.
Yeah.
I think that was a cool twist.
Yeah, because he was gonna go all out and just keep trying.
Because he knows he can't fight her.
Yeah.
So the only way he could beat her is try to talk her out of it.
Yeah, actually, that's the same one I put.
All right, most punchable face.
Ronan. Sorry, he's.
I put the science scroll.
It's okay.
Because
that's good.
He's just there, and when Talos looks at him, he's like, "You're the science guy. You couldn't figure this out." Part of me is like, "Yeah, you should punch him in the face, Talos."
Yeah, give him a punch.
Yeah.
All right, I like that one. But I can't not see Ronan want to punch him in the face. I have to want it. Sorry.
All right, one prop you take home.
Oof, there's a lot of good stuff in this.
Mine's a very obscure prop. I think.
I kind of want her hat.
Okay.
When they're I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a good prop.
There's a lot of good ones in this.
I put the iced tea glasses.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I like the design on it. It's very old fashioned and it's like,
or even a shirt with the shield logo on it. Like
that.
Those
Yes,
are cool too. Yeah. Yep. There's some good stuff in this one. This is a lot of stuff. But yeah, I like her hat and its whole scene. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Most underrated moment.
Most underrated moment.
I put the power dampening technology. People don't talk about that. And
is it underrated though? Because I think underrated kind of means it should be made a big deal, as in like it's awesome, and they're not seeing it.
Well,
because I don't like it.
I don't.
I agree with you. They don't talk about it enough, but I don't like it because it's a MacGuffin. It's just because, and I don't care for that.
Well, I feel like they should have explained it more because to me that is a big deal. It's not a happy big deal. It's more of you could suppress the power of an Infinity Stone. Like that's huge. Yeah. Where does that not fit into anything later on?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm actually, you know what I wish they did? I love, and I'm not taking this away from him, but I love that Peter made that dampener, but part of me wished he made it using something that was like that, like he found a basis for it, and then he expand upon it for DNA instead of, because that's the thing, we don't know how this one operates. This one probably is to her DNA because, from my understanding,
it's in her DNA. Right?
Yeah, it's in her DNA.
Is that why she's a mutant?
No.
Is that why the other one's a mutant?
What other one?
I don't know. Isn't there one of them is a mutant? Is Miss Marvel a mutant?
Nope.
I mean, they do say. It's
So-
in the show. He says
So-
mutant, and the music plays. And
I
she's like,
despise that.
what if she's part of the X-Men team?
I would throw a fit.
Watch them walk out on the stage,
And she walks out, I will throw a fit. You
Oh my
guys will
God.
watch me
You don't
throw a fit. No,
Be honest though, they did. That was the clear message they were trying to
she's
send.
not an X-Man. If they want to retcon her into being a mutant, which is
Oh my
stupid.
God, Sammy, she's with Beast too. Like, this is a very possible thing. You know that, right?
She's with Beast.
No, but the one is.
Oh,
What's her fate?
the Maria
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So they could be
No.
mutants.
She's not a mutant. Okay, I can't say she's not a mutant because it's clear that they're trying to make her a mutant in the MCU because
Especially if it's Marvel.
according to some of the people behind her comic, that was her original intent. Well, it sucks.
Kamala Khan, right?
Kamala Khan, that's who we're talking about. Yes. She was better as an Inhuman because, let's face facts, the Inhumans are kind of unpopular. You needed a Kamala Khan to make her more popular. Hot take if you want to call it that. But
I didn't know who the Inhumans were for very long time.
Yes, but Kamala Khan reinvigorated me. I almost freaking said it. Reinvigorated Inhumans. Keep her that because we need that flavor in the MCU.
That's what they want you to do. They got you. Oh no, she's gonna. They're gonna like, right in the middle of it. They're like, yeah. Instead, we decided not to have a storm. Instead, we have Kamala Khan. Oh. I'd be like,
I will be screaming at my iPad when we're reading that live.
What are we watching now? Right? Like, that would be awful, dude.
My excitement for X-Men would drop. It will drop so fast.
They did do the music with it and everything, though. You know?
Yeah. No. Sorry. I like Iman Vellani. I like the character Ms. Marvel. I don't like they're making her a mutant.
I'm with you.
That's
she's
all.
Got a place, just
she needs to stay as an Inhuman. Is that so hard? Do you really need to make her into a mutant? We have plenty of mutants. You have no popular Inhumans. Keep her there. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm sorry, but that does tick me off. What the heck is wrong with you guys?
It really just hit me that there's about
especially when Kevin
chance.
Feige announced that they were going to do an Inhumans movie by this time as Carol Danvers, and then they dropped the ball on that. And then you finally introduce your first Inhuman, Kamala Khan. You decide to make her a freaking mutant? What the hell is wrong with you?
She's going to be the first Inhuman member of the X-Men. In place of someone else.
No. Oh, yeah. Probably in place of Jubilee. Because that's her personality. That is her personality.
Yeah.
I want Jubilee or Kitty. Though you have to have that young spirited character. They're gonna make Kamala Khan instead be that, aren't they?
Oh my gosh, Sammy, that actually makes a lot of sense. What they set up, it doesn't make sense. If you put yourself in their mindset and where everything is right now in the MCU, why not? There's nothing. What else are they doing with her? The show didn't do well. I mean, it's one of the better ratings.
Her show did well, but they're not trying to continue shows.
That's just it. So what do you do with her now?
And
there's nowhere else to put her.
And the sad thing is, of that second Captain Marvel movie, she was one of the better characters because they focused it all on her, which is a disservice to the actual Captain Marvel.
There's nowhere else to put her.
No, they better not. They better not put her in X-Men.
I'm calling it right now. Calling it.
If they put her in X-Men, oh my God, I will flip out.
He's going to say, and we have a familiar face joining the team. She's going to come walking out.
I will flip the F out. My excitement within the past 3 hours of doing this podcast was so high until right now. If they do that, if they announce that, I'm going to be so freaking mad. I don't want one scene of her meeting Xavier. I want none of that. I don't want her to step foot onto the X-Mansion. She is off limits. I'm sorry.
You know what's funny is you're passionate about it because you are seeing the dots like I am. Like it's there.
Yes, and I hate it.
It's actually there. I mean, there's no coincidence that they.
Yeah, this isn't like is Jean Grey in Spider-Man or not, and then they did it and it worked.
Yeah,
this will not work.
They put the music there and everything. This will not work to you.
Oh, no.
Sammy, I'm scared. I'm scared that this is a thing.
No,
Boy,
this
it's the
is-
right age and everything too.
Well, in the recent comics, they made her a mutant in the recent comics. She's a mutant inhuman.
Oh my god, it's even worse. It gets thicker. I didn't know that.
What they did is retconned her where they kept her as an inhuman, but the reason why she was susceptible to those inhuman powers was because she had a dormant mutant gene. That's what they're trying to do in the comics to make her part of it. She was on Krakoa, the whole thing that they just did with X-Men.
Yeah.
I hate this so much.
And then put the music in there.
Yeah,
It's all there.
It's that scene that made me hate the show.
Boy, look at the age group of
John
these people.
Campia's favorite show. I'm sorry. I was okay with it until that point. Bland villain, but whatever. You got to that point, you lost me. I was done. I didn't want to see that girl ever again. You made me hate Kamala Khan, and I actually liked her because she's supposed to be likable.
And
but
now she's going to be in X-Men.
No. All right, move on.
You know it. You know it's there. You know it's happening. Just accept it.
Oh no, I won't.
Oh my god, I'm actually really worried.
I am nervous
We
now.
figured it out.
1 week from today.
I'm super nervous.
1 week from today, we're supposed to know these X-Men cast.
Not only all these things we figured out, but she really does fit the age group they're going for. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's young. She's cheap. She's already in the MCU.
She's just a little younger than some of these other ones, so it's like a Jubilee kind of esque.
Mm-hmm. She's funny.
Now
she's charismatic.
They had the music.
She's appealing.
They turned her mutant in the comics.
No.
No, they have nothing else they can do with her right now.
Why waste a spot like that? You could put Jubilee in. You could introduce your Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, but why waste the character they made? I mean, they did make her. She is technically a mutant in the MCU.
Leave her be. Don't touch her.
Oh,
leave her out of the X-Men.
Oh no.
All
what
right.
if they do that instead of Rogue?
No.
She's kind of a rogue.
No.
In a way. I mean, not the exact same, but power-wise.
They're not going to do that. There's no way in hell they're going to do that. They're already casting Rogue that we know of. They already had rumors out there, all this stuff. Rogue's in it.
Have they said they're casting Rogue for sure? Like they are casting her?
That's what all the insiders are saying, is that they're not really sure exactly. They don't know who's on the roster of the X-Men.
They don't know who's on the roster. They say that so it's possible.
But the big names that they're expecting are Jean, Cyclops, Rogue, Storm.
Yeah, all from the old X-Men. Like they might want to do a whole different direction.
The thing that throws me off is Emma, because I don't know where they're starting Emma from.
And
that's all.
That's what makes me think they're trying to do something different. Is Emma's
Kamala Khan has never been an X-Man in the comics. Even though they've introduced her now as a mutant, which is stupid still. They haven't made her an X-Man
on TV, on a movie. That's going to be the first time she's an X-Men.
No.
You see her in X-Men suit and everything?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, let's move on.
No, this is horrible.
Your wheels are turning though, aren't they? I can see it.
The sad thing is I can picture her in an X-Men suit and I want to vomit.
My God, so pay attention, folks, when we do our next
if she
episode.
becomes a member of the X-Men, I don't want to hear anyone give crap to X-Men Apocalypse. Not at all. Because you had your chance. And you crapped all over that movie to the point where Oscar Isaac doesn't even want to talk about it.
So just know, guys, when we do our reacting next week and they do start naming these people off as they come out,
I will go off.
Oh man, it's gonna be.
I will be mad.
We're gonna be on the edge of our seat because I'm really like almost convinced now. I gotta tell you, I think it's like a 70%.
I was anticipating next week. Now I'm dreading it.
Yeah, I am too. I don't like it. I don't like it.
God,
I don't like it.
I don't want that.
Okay.
I will be so relieved if she doesn't walk on stage. I will be so relieved. And then if that gets into our rumor mill later on, I'm going to be ticked off.
Yeah, I would have never thought of it until this movie we talked about.
Okay. All right. Most overrated moment, I put Ronan bringing his fleet.
Yeah. Nope. Perfect. I agree. Yeah. To me, it's not a good scene, and it's way overrated. It's not a big deal. Yep.
All right. I did like the scene, but I feel like they got blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to show her power set, and we already at that point know she's super powerful.
The only other one for me is the fact that Carol is kind of segue into the Avengers
And Fury losing his eye, that is overrated. That's the least best scene and overrated scene, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, funniest moment. There's a dialogue between Carol and Fury that I feel like is the funniest moment, where she says, "What's your name?" And he says, "Nicholas J. Fury, but everyone calls me Fury." She's like, "Does your mom call you Fury?" "My mom is called Fury." "What do you call your mom?" "Fury."
Yeah.
Everyone is Fury.
That was on my list.
I love that.
I like that. Yeah.
That's
Let's stick with
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. That's better than the rest.
My mom's Fury. My dad's Fury.
my
Everyone's
dad's
Fury.
Everyone's. When he says everyone's Fury, because it's just he's so straight faced.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Most emotional moment.
I think it's so. I like the montage of the getting back up thing, which is kind of during the whole black box stuff, right? Or no?
No, it's during what's
It's
on our
during
screen right
what's on
now.
right
It's
here.
her realizing.
Yeah, I
her
think this
potential.
is. I like this moment. Yep, this is it. Yep, you're right. Sorry, I had that mixed up in my head. Yeah. No, this is. I think this is probably the one. It's not so much. There's other ones that are just as powerful, but I think she brings it here, and it's one of those. It's a very empowering moment. Or like, yeah, man, it's like you're just ready to root for her.
Mhm.
And it's so. And then what ensues next is awesome because she's kicking a lot of butt. So
Mhm.
yeah, I picked that for that one.
All right. Yeah, I put Carol realizing exactly what happened to her, because I feel like that's when she started doubting everything that she already knew. And that was a big deal. And I love her. I love Maria's little talk, so to speak, her encouragement she had with her. "You're Carol Danvers." She started saying all the synonyms that she could think of that relate to her, and trying to remind her that you are the person that I'm a best friend with,
Yeah, that was close for me, but I just like this one moment, that moment so much. But yeah, great scene, both of them. There's a lot of good ones in it, to be honest with you.
All right, final scores, guys. So, out of 2, what's the story for you?
The story out of 2, I'm gonna give it 2.
Yep, I gave it a 2.
Yep.
Characters?
That's gonna get a 1.5.
That's a 2 from me.
Okay.
All right, action and visuals?
That's a 1.5.
That's a 2 for me. Emotion and stakes?
I'll give that a 2.
That's a 1 for me.
Interesting. I think for her, it's big.
Yep, for her.
Yeah.
Stakes-wise, there's not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah, good point. That's true.
Maybe with the Roland's Fleet thing, but they're only there because of her.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could go to 1 on that, but
Yeah,
I figured I'd at least give it a 2 somewhere. Again,
yeah,
because it's not a terrible movie.
I get it. I had to give it a 1 because I feel like a lot of people say she's emotionless in this movie, and that's not true. You're just not watching that.
Yeah,
So,
I don't see that at all.
yeah. Rewatchability and MCU impact.
Okay, so rewatchability is low for me. I get bored with this one after I've seen it. I mean, there's certain moments like this one in particular I like a lot. But I'm gonna in the MCU impact is, I mean, I really do believe it was just she had to be. So, and because of that, I think it's gimmicky. So I'm gonna give this a 1 just because we have to have her to get in the next one. The movie did do well as with the story they had, so I'm gonna give it a 1.
Okay. I gave it a 2.
Okay.
All right.
My biggest issue is it's not that I'd never watch it again, but it's gonna be a while before I ever feel like I want to again. So
Okay. All right. What is your final score, sir?
whew, okay, so this is where I gotta be very honest.
We're definitely going to differ a little bit on this one.
I'm super convinced that it's shoehorned, and I'm super convinced that it's probably the first time in the MCU where they're like, well, we gotta make this work. So let's put it in there and get it done. And to me, that wasn't their strategy the whole time, at least in this era of MCU. But I don't think it's that bad of a movie, so I'm conflicted. Because they did a great job with what they had. I'm willing to give this movie a solid 7.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 7.
Well, that's higher than I actually was anticipating. I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're
basically around the same.
Pretty darn close, right? Like, it's pretty darn close. So
the official Goodell Multiverse score for Captain Marvel 1 is 7.5 out of 10.
kind of fits the poster.
I can see it. I'm shocked, actually. Wow.
Well, because that's just it. I griped a lot, but it's still good. Like, because what's good in it, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I like that there's no like obvious villain. I like this stuff here. I like it being about her, just exploring her. I think that was smart and refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I just not a fan of it being sloppy, story wise, because it just felt a little more tucked in, and it didn't. With all the things we talked about.
All right.
And no, Ronan didn't ruin it. If he was there 5 more minutes, I may have went down a point. I figured I'd take a point off every 10 minutes he's on screen.
Oh,
that was my goal.
Oh my.
So,
well, you know what's funny? I just noticed on mine that you gave your hot take, but I completely forgot mine. So I'm just gonna throw it out there as one thing, and I feel like it's kind of a hot take. I put on here that for my hot take, this character origin change is actually perfect for MCU's first female film. So
yeah, I agree. That's a great take. I can see why some people find that hot, but I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So thank you guys for sticking with us for the first Captain Marvel movie retrospective. Ike, that we can cross off that first thing on what's next.
Oh yeah, because we're definitely not going to do that.
We don't have time
for that. No. Especially if what happens, that I think is going to happen. So, coming up next week, guys, your face. I think Sam's not going to text me for like 2 days because of me bringing that up and just bringing that to light.
That should have never. That should have never happened.
So, guys, next week, all right? Oh, what's the number episode are we on next week?
Oh, gosh. Well, what's this one? 22? We're on 23.
Next week is episode 23.
Funny. We're covering D23 on episode 23.
Hey, it's pretty wild. Pretty cool. Could have done that.
That is cool.
Nice. So what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're going to be covering D23 live for us. If we can figure it out, we'll try to be live online. Since the social medias don't really care for it right now, we might not. So we'll have to see. But hey, if we can get 1,000 subscribers between now and then, come on. I know there's a few of you watching. Call your friends. Just go over to their computers and do it for them.
Or even 100 Facebook followers.
Oh yeah,
that's all we need.
Easier, yeah.
We're at like 30. I think.
Yeah, everybody out there. You got 100 people on your wall. Go.
Please
start
share us and just press the like button.
Yeah,
you can mute us. That's fine. Just share. Just like us.
Yeah, we want to be able to do some fun stuff. Yeah. You don't gotta listen to us. Just make us, make us online. Put us on lines.
That's it.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing it live, at least for sure, live reacting to it.
Yes.
And buckle your seatbelts, because as soon as Kamala Khan walks on stage, the whole show is going to be taken over, and I'm going to have to help Sammy. I might have to do CPR. So let's hope not. I understand. I don't want it to happen just as much as him, but I'm telling you, it's about 75% at this point.
No.
So on top of that, we're also doing a very big retrospective next week, guys. This is a culmination, really, of the whole point to what they started.
Yep.
That post-credit scene at the end of Avengers. You get that turn of that face of Thanos. Here we go, guys. It's the first part already. We're going to get Avengers Endgame, see how it all wraps up, talk about every second of it, all the goodies that go with it, and we're going to have a good time. And I have a couple real big glaring things that actually don't affect the movie, but it affects the future of what's going on.
Oh, boy.
I think that that's kind of why I don't think it's ever going to take points off, because it's okay, because it really doesn't affect the movie at all. But once you realize it, you're kind of like, how do you do that then, right? So I think that's something that they didn't think ahead on. But we'll talk about that. Other than that, and we're going to have our normal. Probably we're still going to do news and rumor. Just honestly, guys, they'll probably be shorter, with those, because the D23 things.
Our news will be our D23. And then,
that's true. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mixed that up.
So we'll do just like what we did with Comic-Con.
Yep.
We'll do a rumor mill. Yeah.
And we'll talk about it.
And then,
while we're waiting for things to drop on D23, maybe we'll talk about a couple other things, but we're probably going to be mixed up in whatever's going on there.
Yeah. And then, do you see the last thing that we're preparing to do, at least?
Oh, what's that? I can't remember.
Oh, we are preparing to film X3.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
The Last Stand.
That's right. We are.
Special retrospective.
Oh, I'll tell you what, guys. Tune in for that one because you're going to see passion.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of passion.
Oh, my. That I already have a lot to say.
Yeah. And it's, it's unfortunate, but yet it still will be a good talk.
Yeah.
Because this is where you're going to understand why we love these characters so much and why we're going to be so critical.
Yeah.
Because this movie has a lot of examples of what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So, and it makes me even more excited. You realize, I don't know what I'm more excited for, doing Endgame or knowing that we're this much closer to Days of Future Past.
Oh, I agree.
Retro on that. Boy, it's going to be an emotional one.
All right, guys. Well, you can find us on all the social media platforms. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And please stream us wherever you stream the audio. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Like our videos. Comment on them. Get the algorithm going. Share with your friends. Share with your family members. Share with your enemies. We need every bit of help that we can get. And so, until next time, y'all, see you at the movies.